सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति Question. Mind Wreak Havoc reference. Mind Wreaks Havoc. Topic: the two motivations. You said, ultimately, if you want to be always joyful, Isa Upanishad taught us. This is what I said. What I said in the class is quoted first. Isa Upanishad taught us, Tena Tyaktena Bunjita. And Kaivalya also says, Tyage Naike, relinquish. The only way to be happy is through renunciation. But the very idea of giving up is frightening because if I give up, the emptiness and loneliness will be experienced. Giving up, the mind believe it will go back to emptiness. In fact, more and more craving is increasing the sense of emptiness. Correct. I said this, is it? Huh? Oh my God. I never knew I can say all this also. The craving increases the sense of emptiness. Correct. Very wise person. Very wise. Really. True, no? More and more craving is going to increase the sense of emptiness. It's not going to do anything other than multiplying the sense of emptiness. So the craving increases the sense of emptiness. Now the question, how does craving increase the sense of emptiness? Second, how to make the mind understand giving up will not make me go back to emptiness. Third, I'll come to the third later. First, the first two. The first question, how does craving increase the sense of emptiness? Second, how to make the mind understand giving up will not make me go back to emptiness. First, emptiness is the disease. Emptiness is not emptiness, the sense of emptiness. The sense of emptiness is the fundamental disease, is the sense of emptiness. Correct. Craving is to overcome the sense of emptiness. Emptiness, loneliness. These are all the very imaginary notions that a human being has and suffer because of this. So, what is craving? Craving is trying to fill the emptiness. Craving is nothing but trying to fill the emptiness. And how much ever you fill the emptiness remains as always. More and more attempt you make to fill the emptiness, you are convinced that you are empty. Every craving gives you a conviction that you are empty. And then how can you crave and accumulate and get out of the sense of emptiness? Because you are doing the very thing that is making the disease stronger and stronger. So you do something that makes the disease stronger. How can you get out of the disease? Therefore, craving is, what is craving? Craving is an attempt to fill the emptiness. Again, I repeat. Craving is an attempt to fill the emptiness. What is craving means? What is craving? Craving is a weird, deluded state. It's a very weird, deluded state is craving. You can't be happy with it. You can't be happy without it. Again, I repeat, craving is a very weird mental state where you can't be happy having it. Again, you can't be happy. Let go of it. You will not know whether to keep to it or let go of it. Not knowing what to do, what the human mind does, not knowing what to do, what the human mind does, it goes on trying for more. It goes on trying for more. It goes on trying for something new. It goes on trying for something better, whatever be. And then it starts craving. So craving stems from the notion that that can give you happiness. Only when you are convinced that that can make you happy, you will crave for it. So what is the meaning of craving? Craving stems from a conviction. What is a conviction? That can make me happy. This person can make me happy. This person alone can make me happy. If you are convinced about it, what will you do? If you are convinced about it, what will you do? You will start craving. Craving means what? Now you are convinced that with only that person or that object can give me happiness. That's why I think in the previous class or one of the class I was giving my example. As a teenager, I thought, how can anybody live outside the 3 kilometers of Mylapore? You have to commit suicide if you have to leave that. You have to leave that place means you have to commit suicide. How can anybody live outside the 3 kilometers radius? That 3 kilometer radius also, that 1 kilometer, that 1 kilometer radius, oh my God. So thought starts going. How the thoughts will go now? Weird it will go, isn't it? Now, how do you look at it? Makes no sense. There is absolutely no sense at all in that, isn't it? But craving will not make you to accept it. As long as you are in the craving mind, as long as you are in the craving mode, you will not be able to. So what is craving? Craving stems from a deep-rooted conviction. What is a deep-rooted conviction? That alone can make me happy. Without that, I am zero. Yeah. Because you are convinced that you are a zero. You are convinced that you are a zero. Yeah. It always, the position of zero is important, no? You position the zero left to the one or right to the one. One இருக்குது. You position the zero to the left or to the right. ஒன்னுக்கு முன்னாடி zero போட்டா that zero is useless. The zero should come next, isn't it? Sense of emptiness is you the zero, the one is always onto the right. And somehow you will want to, and somehow the zero wants to go to the other side. The madness of the human. That is the madness of the humanity. Are you able to follow till now? This is craving. This is craving. So without it, I cannot be, because my whole sense of happiness is entirely dependent on that one. Emptiness will go when, if the other can make me happy, the other will make me cry. Whoever it is. If the other is making you happy, the same other that is making you happy will make you cry too. You understand this? Craving will go. Appadan craving go. Are you able to follow? Craving comes from what expectation? That they will always keep you happy. Happy. They will always keep you happy. They will always keep you happy. That's why you crave. Supposing you understand that they are going to, that they can make you cry in pain, what will the mind want to do? Instantly it will want to drop and pick up something else. Even then, it will not learn to overcome the emptiness. You follow? Immediately it will drop one and pick up the other. Therefore, what is this what is this emptiness? Craving. Craving stems from emptiness. How to overcome that? First thing, you have to accept. What you have to understand and accept? The one who makes you, if you believe that one can make you happy, take it for sure. The one that is making you happy is the one that is going to make you cry. That's why you will never know whether it is an asset or a liability. Remember that we have studied this some time back. The body, is it an asset or a liability? The physical body that you have, is it an asset or is it a liability? At one point of time, it is an asset. At another point in time, it's a liability. Now you will never know whether it is an asset or. Are you able to follow? So if you understand it rightly, you will not be craving for it. You follow? This is how you overcome craving. How do you overcome craving? You are looking at it from one angle. Pratipaksha bhavana helps you to get out of the craving. Technical word. How you will get out of the craving? If you employ the technique of Pratipaksha bhavana. What is Pratipaksha bhavana means? Paksha means opposite side. Opponent view. Opposite view. That is called Paksha. Pratipaksha means looking at it from that angle repeatedly is called Pratipaksha bhavana. So when you look at it from the other side, from the opponent view, in the way they write the bhashyas, in the way they write the commentaries of the scriptures, they employ this method. First, they will say, Purva Pakshi says that. Purva Pakshi says, Purva Pakshi means the one who is having an opponent view is saying that. And then they will try to prove the fallacy in that. And then they will come up with another. And then that's how the Pratipaksha Bhavana makes you to understand things rightly. So how do you get out of craving? By employing the technique of Pratipaksha Bhavana. Very difficult to employ the Pratipaksha Bhavana because it requires some amount of courage. Pratipaksha Bhavana is difficult to practice because it requires a courage. What is the courage? That which can make me happy is that one which is going to give me misery. Please understand, it is not potentially. Realistically, please understand the difference. Are you able to follow? I'm not saying that which will give you happiness has the potential to give you sorrow. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that which gives you happiness will definitely give you misery. That is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Therefore, you have the right understanding. You follow? Sir, but this study and Vedanta and all this is giving so much of happiness. Oh dear. Very soon this will start giving you misery. The law doesn't change. There is no exception to the law. Why? Because over a period of time you start developing your own expectations on this also. Therefore, what happens? The misery part gets exposed. One of the person was telling me, sir, genuinely, 35 years I have studied, practiced, did so much of karma, did this, did that, etc. Nothing worked. Everything is a waste. Everything is a waste because some pain came and the pain was felt. I said, from where did it said that you study all this, you will not feel the pain at all? For you not to feel the pain, you should have gotten detached. Detachment never happens. That's where we quote Isavasya Upanishad. Tena tyaktena punjitam. त्यागेन ऐके अमृतत्वमानशुः. Kaivalya Upanishad. Tyagena eke. There is no other. Akarmanana prajayadanena tyagena eke amritatvamanashuh. Kaivalya Upanishad. Isavasya says, Isavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitam. You want to be happy? Yes, sir. I want to be happy. Always? Yes, always. Will anybody want to be happy in bits and pieces? What kind of a question is that? Everybody wants to be happy? Always? Very simple. Very easy to be happy always. Tena எத்தேன எதெல்லாம் புடிச்சுன்னு இருக்கிறீங்களோ போட்டுருங்கோ. What all you are holding on to, leave it. What all you are holding on to, leave it. Sir, I can't live like that, no. I have duties, no. I have obligations, no. I have duties, no. I have obligations. I can't leave it like that, no. Oh, Shankaracharya will come and take a lesson from you. Shankaracharya will come and take a lesson from you. Ramana Maharshi will come and take a lesson. Will take a lesson from you. Because what took so much of tapas for them to do, we are able to do it so effortlessly, no? Are you able to follow the difference? What took them so much of effort and tapas? Actually, sir, I'm not attached and all. I'm only doing my duty, sir. All that I'm doing. Poor Shankara didn't know this technique. Poor Ramana Maharshi, Upanishadic Rishi didn't know this technique that we all. You follow? What is giving up means? What are you giving up? Please understand. You give up that which you own. You give up that which you possess. You can't give up that which you don't own. You can only give up that which you possess. That is Ashtavakra to Janaka. That is Ashtavakra to Janaka. You can only give up that which you have, that which you own alone, you can give up. Supposing, Aparna, if you and me decide, we will give up Ganesh's flat. Myself and Aparna decided today that we will give up Ganesh's flat. Ganesh will think, no, madness is this is his flat. We are coming and sitting here. So he will allow us at 6:55 and 8:05 doors will be closed. Yeah, we should know that. Supposing if we both decide today, we will give it up. Madness. So in order to give up, you should own it. What do you possess for you to own up other than the foolishness? Only thing that we have in abundance is foolishness, delusion. Other than that, we don't possess anything. That's our patta kapila for my property document and all is done very, very properly. Vedanta teachingல ஒரு பெரிய அட்வான்டேஜ் என்னன்னா you can consult anything and everything. Property consultation you can do, health consultation you can do, marriage consultation you can do, divorce consultation also you can do. To the same person you can do marriage consultation, to the same person you can do divorce consultation. So madness, this whole most of the documentation is very, very clear that I own it. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, God laughs at you. God laughs at you, he says. When two brothers fight, Kurukshetra battle, two brothers fought, this land is mine. Land swallowed both. Land swallowed both. Because the land laughs at these two, saying, so many fellows owned me like this in the past. What happened to all of them? Now, same thing to you. In future also. So, what are you giving up? You don't own it to even give up in the first place. Body, Isavasya says, body belongs to the elements. Let the elements go back to the body. You don't. The body belongs to the elements, the five elements. Are you the creator of the five elements? Or it is the body is mine? Then what you can call as yours? Ignorance in the form of wrong understanding. Ignorance in the form of not knowing. Inga Vedantala ignorance is a definition. Not ignorance, not knowing or definition. Ignorance, wrong understanding. In Vedanta, we always use ignorance in the sense of wrong understanding. Wrong understanding. So what are you giving up? You have to give up your wrong understanding. To give up that wrong understanding requires a lot of maturity, lot of study, lot of effort, lot of things is required to give up the wrong understanding. Are you able to follow? So, what are you renouncing? Same thing. We have repeated it any number of times. Chudala taught Shikidvaja. The wife taught the husband, the king. Yeah. What a brilliant lady she should be. Chudala. Deepika, you know the story of Chudala, no? I don't know whether she's saying yes or no. No, you don't know. Huh? You know the story of Chudala? You don't know. You know the story of Chudala? Theriyuma? Solunga. She's saying, I know. Please. Huh? Later, huh? Chudala, the wife. She's an enlightened one. Chudala, the wife, the enlightened one. Yoga Vasishtha varudhu. In Yoga Vasishtha, this conversation comes in Yoga Vasishtha. Beautiful conversation between Chudala and the king, the husband. Kashi king, Shikidvaja is the name. He decided to renounce the kingdom, go into the forest, so that meditation, moksha, adukadam poraru. He called the ministers and said, you take care of the kingdom. He told the wife also, you take care, I'm I'm leaving. Don't come chasing. Actually, who's chasing? This fellow is only chasing. And he's telling the wife, don't come and disturb me. Abada, what a break. The king goes to the forest, started doing tapas. The wife knew this is not the way for moksha. She knew this is because she's an enlightened unknown. இந்த மாதிரி கோர்ஸ் படிச்சுட்டு வந்த இல்லையா டியூஷன் டீச்சர் கிடையாது. இதெல்லாம் டியூஷன் வெட்னஸ்டே கிளாஸ், சாட்டர்டே கிளாஸ், சண்டே கிளாஸ் எல்லாம் டியூஷன் டீச். அது ஒரிஜினல் டீச். சுடாத. She knew that this is not the way you get moksha. She wanted to come and help the king. But if she comes in her form, the king will not listen. Why? Because the king will misunderstand that she has come because of her attachment, infatuation. So she took the form of a yogini and she came and stood in front of the king. And the king, she was waiting for the king to finish the morning duties. The morning duties you all have, no? Yeah, Indrigano, Sigrama, isn't it? First, we have to get a Prabhakar. அப்புறம் சந்தியாவந்தனம் பண்ணணும், காயத்ரி சொல்லணும், and then do this. எல்லாம் பண்ணி முடிச்சுட்டு by the time you take a break, it will be 9 o'clock. So 10 minutes break and then afternoon duty will start. அந்த மாதிரி தபஸ் பண்ணாதான் you will get to grow in life. So she was waiting for the king to take a. So the king looking at her standing in front, her tejas. What they call as tejas, no? Tejo. This is called tejas. This is called tejas. That spiritual radiance, that spiritual brilliance. Looking at her, the king fell at her feet, saying that, God, my tapas is fructified that you have come to guide me, teach me Brahma Vidya, teach me this. So that she said, you are sitting here to gain Brahma Vidya? Yes. Oh, that is very easy. To gain Brahma Vidya, all that you have to do is give up. All that you have to do is what? Just give up. Avladhan, give up. The king smiled at her because he has a big list of things that he has given up already. What is the big list that he has? He says, you do not know me. I am the king. My name is Sigidwaja, the king. I gave up this. I gave up this. I gave up this. I gave up my beautiful wife also. To whom? To the wife only, he said. List. She said, you have given up nothing. Or duplicate list. Don't come up with the duplicate list and all. For you have given up nothing. The king said, what do you mean? So he went and he thought, he still had a small hut, a few vessels. So he threw the vessels in the river. He brought down the hut, came and stood. Am I now fit? She said, you have given up nothing. You have given up nothing. Don't do all this. Don't do all this natak here. You have given up nothing. Then he thought again, what else is there to give up? The last piece of clothing. The last piece of clothing. He tore that away, stood naked in front of her, saying, am I fit enough? She said, no. You have not given up anything. What more a person can give up? Is there anything that possibly he can give up? Or he has given up everything. Mute. not given up anything. Then he thought, what else is there to give up? Only thing that he has is his life now. Prana hattidam pannu. Other than that, there is nothing that he can. So he lit the fire, and he was about to give up his life also. He was collecting the woods, lighting the fire. She said, before you enter, answer my question and then enter. They have no ounce of sympathy or affection. Huh? No, don't do that. It's okay. Abdullah no, isn't it? It's okay. Don't do that. Prana Hatila is Narakam. All that. What Narakam you, when you are in Narakam already, what Narakam that you are going to go afresh now? So what is the point? So he said, answer my question and enter. What are you going to do? Entering the fire and giving up the body. If the body comes in contact with fire, what happens to the body? It turns into ashes. Beautiful question. Whose ashes? He said, whose ashes? Whose ashes? My ashes. Foolish fellow. Body is gone. Everything is gone. What is it that is claiming the ashes as mine? Are you able to follow? You have to claim the ashes as mine. This something you have to keep claiming as mine because of the deep-rooted sense of emptiness. Are you able to connect? The deep-rooted sense of emptiness, you have to claim the ashes as mine. Get rid of that mindness. Get rid of that mindness. So what are you actually renouncing? Actually, you are not renouncing anything other than the foolishness. That's why the wise one, if you go and say, wow, you are great, he will say no, because I have just become normal. That's all. When rest are all abnormal, I have become normal. What is the difference between the rest being abnormal and me being normal? You throw the diamonds and keep the pebbles. Wise one threw the pebbles and kept the diamond. இது என்ன certification? Are you able to follow? So what are you renouncing? You are renouncing your ignorant notion. Are you able to follow? So what are you renouncing? You are only renouncing your ignorant notion. It's a notion born out of long association. You have repeated it so many times to yourself that you are so convinced that without the other, you will be in misery. Without the other, you will be in misery. Renunciation says, the other is not the reason for your misery. Renunciation is not saying without the other you can be happy. Carefully follow. Renunciation is not saying without the other you can be happy. That is not renunciation. Renunciation is an understanding that the other is incapable of giving you joy or misery. Other renunciation. That's what the Upanishad is teaching. Are you able to follow? The other is incapable of giving me joy or misery. This is how you overcome emptiness, loneliness. You follow till now? Very difficult is to get rid of this. Very difficult to get rid of this notion. Why? Because you are so convinced about it. What makes the conviction so deep? Because this is what you have been doing Janma after Janma after Janma. It is not that which started now in the last 30, 40 years, it didn't happen. This has been happening for Janmas. It has been happening for Janmas. So what have you to renounce here? The notion that you have to renounce. What is the notion? The other cannot give you misery. The other cannot give you misery because the other cannot give you happiness. If the other can give you happiness, definitely the other can give you. You follow? The third clarification. Put it on. Have it. Read it. If anybody has read it, it's not coming.
Anshu, can you read it?
Yes, I'll read it.
Read it. Read it.
Okay, sir. The third question is, with regard to association, you once said, Shastra asks the mind to let go of the craving for association and avoid getting into relationship because mental stability doesn't lie in any relationship. Second, all associations doesn't bring pain. If all association is to bring pain, any dropping, you should feel the sadness. But out of 10, 8, you don't feel sad at all. Only past unintelligent, indiscriminate areas of association, mind feels sad to let go.
Yes.
Stability is moving, and the movement not affecting you is stability. You are on the move constantly, and the movement doesn't upset you, affect you. This is stability. Could you please elaborate this statement? Stability is moving, and the movement not affecting you is stability. You are on the move constantly, and the movement doesn't upset you, affect you. That is stability.
Yeah. The past unintelligent association with a few alone causes misery. Not everything causes misery. Correct? Not anything and everything causes you misery. One or two causes pain and misery. Why? Because you unintelligently associate. What is stability? Stability comes from the understanding of life. What is understanding of life? The understanding of life is it's changing. What is understanding of life? Everything changes. You follow? Everything changes. Stability means the change will not upset you. The change will not affect you. That is stability. Okay, what is the converse? The converse is somehow I want to keep it from non-changing. You follow? Are you able to follow now? Somehow you will always want to keep the changing, the unchanged. The change should not happen. When the change happens, you lose stability. So I said stability means you move. What does moving means? When changes happen, you accept the change. When changes happens, you accept the change. Number one, that is stability. Second aspect of stability. The second aspect of stability is gratitude to the past. Gratitude to the past. Example, the person loving you today need not love you tomorrow. Correct? The person loving you today need not love you tomorrow. What is stability in this? What is stability here? The person loving you stops loving you. What is your mental state? You will not remain affected. Not that you will just remain unaffected. You will be grateful to. You will be grateful to the love that was showered. You will be grateful to the love that was showered and still move on. Are you able to follow? So stability means acceptance plus gratitude. Acceptance plus gratitude. Opposite of that is changes are seen as ingratitude. Somebody has changed, you see it as very, how do you see it? Oh, you don't know, sir, how much I gave, what all I gave. You don't know. For all that I gave, this is what happened to me in return. What is stability? For that they have given, you be grateful and accept the change. That is called stability. That is called stability. Very few has this stability. Why? Because first of all, we will not be able to accept the change. Even if change happens, the only way that we can move out is by blaming. Is by blaming, criticizing, complaining. I can never say thank you, isn't it? That is why we say when somebody is dead, we should give a good farewell, we say, no? What does good farewell means? What does good farewell means? Thanking. Thanking the other, thanking the other. That's why they say talk about all the goodness they have done, the benefits that you have received. Talk about all that, think about that rather than complaining, crying. Are you able to follow? Stability means what? This is called stability. This is called, you understand the change and grateful to the past. You understand, accept, and be grateful to the past. This is called stability. Is your screen working now?
Sure.
Okay, leave it. Stability is to move on. Stability is the capacity to move on without complaining.
So the question is on the chat.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Now I got it. Out of 10 things that you have had, 8 things you drop and you don't even miss them, no? Out of 10 things that you associate, 8 things we don't miss. Why only that 1 or 2 we miss? That 1 or 2 is because of indiscriminate area of association. Indiscriminate association makes the mind feel sad. Stability is moving and the movement not affecting you. You are on the move constantly and the movement doesn't affect you. You are on the move constantly means what? You are on the move constantly means George Bernard Shaw's Taylor. Taking fresh measurements. Every day you are fresh. Taking fresh measurements. That is, you are on the move constantly. Not that you are a chameleon, not that you are picking and dropping whimsically. Not that you are picking and dropping whimsically. When change occurs, you don't fight with the change. You don't resist the change. You don't fight with the change. Are you able to follow? This is specific to the context of relationships. All this has to be understood in a context. The context for this entire discussion is relationships. Because the major problem that we have in life is relationships. The major problem that we have is about not knowing how to relate. Not knowing how to relate. Lack of stability in a relationship is always because all relationships, the foundation principle of relationship is something in return. Why relationships are very painful? Because something in return. Quid pro quo, isn't it? Something has to be in return. As long as that condition of something should be there in return, that relationship will not be stable at all. In fact, that's the entire study of attachment itself. Are you able to follow? So, what is the relationship? The quid pro quo. Meaning, in every relationship, you want something in return. Something must be there in return. Not only something must be there in return, there is a legitimacy in that expectation. You believe that you are legitimate in that expectation. That is lack of stability. So, what is lack of stability in a relationship? The legitimacy that you give to your expectations. You make your expectations very legitimate in your eyes, and that brings about lack of stability. Are you able to follow? Understand the sequence. It will be very easy to follow. Understand the sequence. Three words. Moon Vartha I am saying. 3 words I am going to say. Reflect on these 3 words. Situation, problem, crisis. 3 words, write it down. Situation, problem, crisis. Stability, where do you lose stability in the 3? Will the is it the situation, or is it a problem, or is it a crisis? First, understand these 3 words. life gives you situations. Life doesn't give you problems. Life gives you situations. No, it doesn't give you a problem. When will you call the situation a problem? When you can find a cure to it. When you can find a solution to it, it is kept at the level of a problem. I have a problem, sir. Now, what does it mean? Give me a solution. Crisis na என்ன அர்த்தம்? Crisisனா கிரைசிஸுக்கும் ப்ராப்ளம்க்கு என்ன வித்தியாசம்? There's a difference, no? What is the difference between crisis and a problem? Problemக்கும் கிரைசிஸ்க்கும் என்ன வித்தியாசம்? How can you? Crisis means the same problem makes you dejected, despondent, you lose stability. Are you able to follow? Crisis means what? You lose your stability. Why? Because crisis means a problem which you have personalized so much. Crisis means a problem that you have personalized so much. Problem na skill is enough. Crisis na detachment. Are you able to follow the difference? Problem ke what do you need to solve the problem? Skill is enough. Bhagavad Gita fight of Arjuna, is it a problem or a crisis? On the battlefield, was Arjuna facing a situation? Was Arjuna facing a problem or was he facing a crisis? What was he facing? Crisis. That crisis is because of what? He lost his stability. He's saying, I can't see. My mouth is parched. My knees are, my body is shaking. My whole thing is shivering, trembling. Gandiva has become a walking stick now. Yeah, he's holding it to keep himself standing. To fight to Quran. He's holding it as a walking stick now. Problem means lack of skill, not knowing how to fight. Now, Arjuna problem is not about lack of skill. What is Arjuna's problem there? Crisis. What made that problem turn into a crisis? Are you able to follow what I'm asking? What made the situation turn into a crisis? He personalized it so much. He personalized it. That personalization makes you lose your stability. Are you able to follow? So, what makes you lose your stability? Crisis. How can you get dejected in a crisis, Arjuna? Very first verse, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. If you heard that sentence rightly, you will not read Bhagavad Gita after that. Because he's saying, how can you get dejected in the crisis? What will be your answer? What are you talking? Crisis la dane dejection varudhu. And you are telling me that don't get dejected in a crisis. Are you able to follow? He lost the stability. What is the stability he lost? What is the stability he lost? He personalized it. Crisis. Is it because of lack of skill that he got into a crisis? Supposing if I was picked up from this class and straight away planted on the battlefield, I can say I'm in a real problem because I really don't. Skill கிடையாது இல்லையா? இங்க ஷூட் பண்ணா if I try to aim here, the arrow will go I don't know in which direction it will go. You don't even know that. That is not Arjuna's. So Arjuna didn't have a problem. Arjuna faced a crisis and we all face crisis. So the formula is the same for crisis. What is the formula? What makes you get into a crisis? A despondency, a dejection. A dejection, a despondency, a depression is what turns situation into a, it means you have lost your stability. So stability is moving and the movement not affecting you. Moving doesn't mean you move from person to person. Moving doesn't mean you move from person to person. That is not movement. In the course of life, changes happen and you accept it. That is stability. You are on the move constantly means you are alert all the time. What is alertness? What is alertness? The alertness is towards the change, and the change will not upset you, affect you. That is stability. That is called stability, which is detachment. To put it technically, it is detachment. Rephrased it. I have not changed at all, sir. I am the same person over the last 50 years, sir. If somebody says that, what do you understand? What do you understand? The person didn't do anything in life. Because if you do actions, changes will happen. Only if you are in coma, nothing will. I am the same person, sir. When everything other and all changes, but I remained the same person. No. Changes happen. Changes happen. Courage is to flow with the change. Stability means to flow with change. Is changes you are making? You don't make it, it happens. It happens. Shastra asks the mind to let go of the craving for association and avoid getting into relationship, because we get into relationship only because we believe that relationship is going to bring a stability. We always get into relationship with the hope that the relationship is going to bring stability. Stability doesn't lie in any relationship. Second, all associations doesn't bring pain also. Only a very few association gives pain. Why only the few gives pain? Because unintelligently, indiscriminately you associated. By your indiscriminate, unintelligent association, the change appears to you as a crisis, you lose your stability. Are you able to follow the sequence? You unintelligently associate, and when the change occurs, it appears to you as a crisis, and that crisis you feel you cannot handle. What to do, sir? In a crisis, what to do? In a crisis, what to do? In a crisis, what to do? Understand? Agama payino nityaha tam titikshasva Bharata. Crisis ko re solution in a titikshata. Because you had a choice not to get into the crisis. Having gotten into the crisis, Now you have only one ஒரே possibility தான். பிரபாகர் என்ன திதிக்ஷா. Practice திதிக்ஷா. ஆகமபாயினः அனித்யः. They come and go. They are temporary. Verse number 14, chapter 2. ஆகமாபாயினோ நித்யாः. நித்யாः means அனித்யாஹன் சந்தி பிரிக்கும் போது அப்படி வந்துடும். ஆகமபாயினः அனித்யः it is. ஆகமபாயினः அனித்யः. Therefore, what do you do? Practice titiksha. And the very titiksha purifies you. That is why in the sadhana chatushtaya sampak, titiksha is a very important quality. For mental, for in the sadhana chatushtaya sampak, we have seen titiksha as a very, very important titiksha is not putting up with the other. Titiksha is an understanding what you created this crisis, and this crisis will go over a period of time. Till that time, you need to stay with it. காரணம் அது இருக்கணும். எவ்வளவு நாள் சார் அந்த வழியிலே இருக்கிறது? ஆகம பாயினா அனித்யா, it will go. Are you able to follow? So in a relationship, what is crisis in a relationship? The reason for crisis in a relationship, is attachment. It is attachment, and mind develops this attachment. How much ever we hear about this attachment, we go back and get attached. We only keep changing the toys, but we can never let go of the toy. By changing the toys, we think we are growing. ஒரு பொம்மை தூக்கி போட்டு இன்னொரு பொம்மை தான் எடுத்துக்க முடியுமே தவிர ஐ டோன்ட் நீட் த டாய்ஸ்னு சொல்லவே முடியாது. ஐ டோன்ட் நீட் எனி, ஐ ஹவ் டன் வித் த டாய்ஸ். We can never say. Because of what? Because of attachment. Relationship turns into a crisis because of attachment. A situation turns into a crisis. A situation turns into a crisis. You follow? Is it okay? It is a situation that turns into a, situation that has turned into a crisis. And the very situation is because of what? Unintelligent association. Unintelligent association. What does unintelligence means? Not used to pratipaksha bhavana at all. That is the unintelligent association. What is meant by unintelligent association? Pratipaksha bhavana, refusing to use pratipaksha bhavana. That's how you get attached. That's how you get attached, and it turns into a crisis. Stability means you don't waver. You are not affected. Why are you not affected? Because you relate with the right understanding. The right knowledge backs the relationship. When right knowledge backs the relationship, there's no problem. You follow? It's all because of the difficulty of attachment. And what is detachment? Detachment is not the opposite of attachment. Detachment is not the opposite of attachment. Detachment is an understanding of the foolishness of attachment. Again, detachment is nothing but understanding the foolishness of attachment. We'll continue that. We are going to study about attachment. We are going to study that a lot. But to answer the question, stability means the changes do not affect you and you are not upset at the changes. Changes do not affect you and you don't get upset at the area. We'll continue next week.